Hello and welcome to the Ken McBride Show for February 21st, 2017. I'm your host, Gary Smith. And on today's show, we're going to look back at last week's games between California and UPJ at home, and then the Saturday game up at a very hot Clarion Gymnasium, Tiffin Gymnasium at Clarion. And then we're going to look ahead at this week's two games, very important games for the California Vulcans, Wednesday night up at Mercyhurst, and then Saturday at home versus IUP. But without further ado, we're going to bring on head coach Ken McBride. And Coach, crunch time right now. 4 games left with last week, 2 games now. But last week, kind of knew how to get at least a split going to last week. First game of the week was against UPJ on Wednesday, and a tough ball club, always from UPJ, and played hard. But UPJ they had a little bit more, made baskets.
Kind of same story as the first time we played them. They're good, and they don't beat themselves. Rukavina, Bob does a good job. He's done a good job for years there, and we didn't play with the mentality we have to do to beat a team like that, and it's still a learning curve for us. And they've done it to us twice, and hope we get the chance to play them again. But we did a really good job putting it behind us because we don't have a whole lot of time to dwell. We have such an uphill battle here, and to bounce back and win on the road on Saturday to get our second road win in a row. So proud of the guys. We had to have a split. We'd have liked to have had 2, but this is where we are, and we still have what we need in front of us.
Let's take a look at the highlights from Wednesday versus UPJ. And Coach, you'll see we talked a little bit off air. Team got a lot of good offensive looks during the game. Just some of them, key ones didn't fall, and UPJ took advantage.
Yeah,
but some great movement on offense, though.
I think our offense, and even through practice, we're still having to really drill our offense through practice because it's a constant growth. And I thought we did do a good job of getting open shots, but I think in a lot of these games, there are 2 or 3 possessions that when we have to get good looks, that I think our guys are trying to do it themselves and not just relying on their teammates. And it's not that we're selfish, it's just we all want to do right. Nick Miller there, he's been playing really well as of late, about the last 4 games. Started seeing the ball go down and really add an element that we need. And Luka's development, what you saw right there is Luka getting a shot at the rim. We all know Luka can shoot the ball from pretty far out, and his ability now to really make them guard him all over the court, I think has made his job easier. So what we did at the end of that game, we kind of sat down and looked at ourselves and thought, what's going to make us even better offensively? And as the team, we kind of sat down and pointed at a direction we need to go on who needs to get shots. And I think that really carried over to Clarion with our execution. But I didn't have a problem at UPJ I thought we were getting good shots. I thought we were taking good shots. I think we're passing it to one another. I just think there are times we get really empty possessions because we try to force action. And a team like UPJ, if you have those, they're going to make you pay on the other end. And they did. Like I told you, points off turnover or something like 20-4. Just because, not that we don't make selfish plays, we just try to force the action when UPJ's not going to let you do that. They're going to let you have shots like that, like Robel got most of the night. And you have to be confident, you have to take them, and as a coach, you live with the results of those shots, inside out. Luka with his feet set, you will live with the result. And I know the result of the game wasn't near what we thought it would be, what we hoped it would be, but I think you do walk away and kind of see what makes us better offensively against a team like that is just take shots they're going to give you. But every shot you just saw, from Cordell's to Nick's to Luka, their feet are set, their shoulders are square. It came off of a pass from a teammate. And as a coach, you'll live with those shots. Not enough of them went down, but I thought defensively we really let down. And I thought we just had too many empty possessions where we don't get a shot on the rim because we turn it over. So, again, it's continual growth for us. We'll probably not be a finished product in the next 2 weeks, but we're going to continue to try. And the guys don't walk away with their head down. They obviously want to win, but they've done a really good job in those points of finding ways that we need to grow. They accept it, they move on, and it really showed on Saturday, which will be the next clip with Clarion.
Yeah, and Saturday, like you said, that's the thing in the PSAC. You don't have too long to think about wins or losses. You got to get right back to it. And the Wednesday game, you had 2 days of practice and on the road to Clarion, and a game that you needed to have because basically looking at last week, kind of figured going into last week, if you split the final 4 games with 2 wins, 2 losses, have a good chance of making it, but can't take any chances. Got to take care of every business, and had a chance to go up to Clarion. You beat them once here. But Saturday night at Clarion, I thought your team did a great job. Got down early, and then I can't remember if you called a timeout or if the media timeout came out. But then I believe that you ended the first half on a 45-12 run or something.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, it was something crazy like that.
I knew it was something. It was something really good. Yeah, I think we got down 7-0, and again, we talked about, I think we started the game, and I think during the first media timeout, I think we had 3 turnovers or 2 turnovers and what we would consider 2 forced shots. And we just had our guys relax, and we really defended well. We changed up and went zone on them for whatever reason. I think Coach Caldwell said, hey, let's try zone, and they weren't making shots. But you're right, coming out of UPJ, we knew we had to go to Clarion to win, and Clarion just came off a big win. I think it was against Slippery Rock at home. They were playing well. It was senior night. They were in desperation mode, and to come out and play the way we did and to really control the game outside that first 5 minutes was really encouraging. And we have talked to the team a lot about our progress as a program is going to show in what we do on the road. And to have a 2-year losing streak on the road, and now we're in a 2-game winning streak on the road, and not just to win, but to win in that fashion, in a controlling fashion, and kind of have it handled and defend the way we did, that shows that we're starting to figure it out, and we need it one more time.
And I tell you what, before we look at the highlights, we'll talk a little bit about the defense, because just the nature of the highlights, it's 90% offensive, because it's kind of hard to find a block or a steal in there that makes sense. But during that run, and I believe after the first, Clarion got out 7-0, I think Clarion didn't hit another 3-pointer until like the last minute and a half of the game, and your defense was forcing them into bad shot selection, and also the 3-quarter press and full-court press you guys were deploying. That gave them a lot of trouble.
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to keep them a little bit off balance, and that's kind of what we've had to do this year is change it up. Keep the people guessing, keep the teams guessing in terms of what we're going to run, how we're going to guard you, and it's just worked for us. It's just one of those years that that's the way we're going to do things, and we've kind of bought into that as a team. And I think what it does with our guys, it keeps them locked in, so they don't get bored to a certain extent. So yeah, we did a good job against Clarion doing that and running them off the 3-point line, because if you look at, really a lot of our success defensively is how we defend the 3-point line. And that's a great equalizer in the game today, is your ability to make threes and increase your points per possession. And when a team's 3 for 25 from the 3-point line, it's just hard to win. And fortunate for us, that's what they shot. They were a better shooting team than that, but for that day, they didn't go down, and we'll take it.
Well, let's take a look at the highlights from a steamy and hot Tippin Gymnasium on Saturday night.
Well,
I told you last week, Coach, it was going to be hot in that gym.
Well, with your tip, it went down and it was hot. So if you notice, Coach Caldwell and I wore short sleeve polos. With your advice, we made that adjustment on our side, and we're pretty good. But you look here, and if you look at, again, these shots, inside-out shots, you had Tony going to the rim after second or third side action. People think, coming from the Mountain East and where we were, we're going to bring a high-powered offense, and hopefully one day we do. But still, good offense is spacing. Spacing is offense. And the ball is always getting reversed. You don't see anything on the first side of the court, because that will eventually break a team down. And we're buying into that. Finally executed a backdoor that we've tried to get for about 6 weeks. Just our guys sharing the basketball. And if you look at our shot dispersion, it was really where we needed to be. We had the right guys taking the bulk of the shots, but we had everybody taking some shots where you got to defend everybody. And the thing that I was proud about is you had guys like Danny Sapp and Jamil Tucker, who had been sitting over there for a lot of minutes, and even Rashawn Brown in the last 4 or 5 games. And we sat down with them and talked to them why you're not playing, what we need you to do. Jamil Tucker with 9 rebounds, Danny Sapp getting offensive rebounds, 3 for 6 from 3. They I think it took the pressure off them, and they had a clear picture on what they need to do to play, and they did those things to help us win the basketball game. And that was a complete game we played in about the last 2 weeks. We had really been struggling offensively, but if you look at all these shots, your shooters are shooting open shots with their feet set, and we'll live with it. As a coach, you'll live with that. And we tell them all the time, if they don't go in, fine, but if Luka, Nick Miller, Danny Sapp, Cordell, you guys are passing inside-out threes, if you're passing them up and throwing somewhere else, I'm going to take you out of the game, because that's the whole point of offense, is to get those type of shots and take them with confidence and live with the result. So, and when you're defending the way you do and you can get out and run in transition, we played really well. That's by far the best road game probably played here in California in 2 years. So, we got to carry it over one more game tomorrow night up in Erie, but I just think, you can go Rashawn Brown getting to the rim. We've been on him about making guys guard him down there. He's too long, he's too athletic, but you don't see many mid-range. You see layups or inside-out threes, and statistically speaking, those are the best shots in the game. Everybody shared the basketball. I think our points per possession was like .97, which is really, really good. And that's .97. I think we gave up .76 or something like that. And it's hard to beat you.
Like that.
I mean, you look at, we scored 74 points, and your leading scorers you got 16, 13, 12, 11, 11. Well, when you run a motion offense like we do, where the ball's not dominantly in one guy's hand, have fun guarding us. And when the ball moves like that, and you got your right guy shooting the right shots, basketball really is a simple game, and we made it really simple on Saturday.
And fun. I mean, you see during the timeouts in that second half, guys coming off during the media timeouts, smiling, having fun. It was just nice to see because, a lot of the games the last couple weeks have been, down to the wire,
right.
Pressure-packed, last-second shots, this and that. But so it was nice to see them, get out and have fun during the game. Have you guys on the coaching staff have little smiles down there?
That's the maturation of this team this year that's made it what it is. I mean, the time we spent on the road together, where these guys are now starting to invest in the guy beside them. When you win and you're excited to win for the guy beside you more than yourself, that's when your program's going to be at the level that we're eventually going to get to. So that growth and the guys' commitment to that side, hey, we're going to win for you. I'm going to win for you. I'm going to do these things on the court to help you out, not to help me out. Then your ultimate success comes. And that maturation and watching the guys on the bench get involved and get engaged, been fun. Makes it fun to be around, makes it fun to coach, makes it fun to play. So that's a big testament to where we're going and really where we've came from.
Yeah, definitely. You took the words out of my mouth with the bench because, watching the games, everyone on that bench, no matter what the score is, no matter what the situation is, everyone's watching, everyone's, pulling for one another. Sometimes you'll see teams, guys that get out of the game, they'll go sit on the bench, get some water or Gatorade, and then just don't pay attention. But as soon as your guys come out, you say a few words to them, and everyone's watching. It's great to see.
But it's great to see, and on the bench you can feel it as a coach. But what's great to see is when you see a guy like, Jamil Tucker, who hadn't played for 3 or 4 games, a whole lot of minutes, and the guy behind him, who Eric Green, has kind of had taken those minutes. And when Jamil starts playing well, Eric's cheering for Jamil. When he knows, hey, if he plays well, there's a good chance that I might not get time, but he doesn't care. He knows, hey, this is what's best for us. I'm going to cheer for him. That's when you know it's real. That's when you know it really is who we are, because I'm not upset that a teammate's playing well because it might cost me playing time. Hey, it's helping us win. We're all about winning. So that's the guys. That's kind of how they developed into one another.
And it's a great time to see that because last week of the season, 2 games left. Coach, you and your team are in the thick of trying to make that push for that PSAC playoff. We see the standings going into this final week. IUP and Gannon have locked up 1 and 2 a couple weeks ago, but UPJ, Mercer, and Slip Rock all clinched. But you see right there, all important, California, Seton Hill fighting for that last spot. And kind of weird situation. Seton Hill has 1 game this week.
Right.
You have 2. They play UPJ. Your team's on the road, Mercer, then home against IUP. And if it's a tie, you swept Seton Hill, so that's the best thing.
Yeah, we have the tiebreaker, so we control our own destiny if we go 2-0. But I like Coach Monaco. I think he does a good job. But I'm really big Bob Rukavina and UPJ fans come tomorrow night. So if UPJ can win that game, then we just need to win 1 game. But I'm not, and I've talked to Gary Manchell up there at Mercer. I said, look, man, you're in. You got your spot. Why don't you rest some guys? Have your assistant suit out. He didn't really oblige in that. But it's fun. What is great is you get down to the last week of season, and every game we have matters. So regardless of tomorrow's outcome, Saturday's game is going to matter. And to be in this position, and we've talked to the guys, and this is unfortunate, but it is a reality that in the life of California men's basketball, these are the biggest games that anybody's played here. Mm-hmm. And Tony and Danny and Cordell, those guys have been here for 2 years. They haven't been in this position. They've never played in a playoff game. So it's great to get to the last week of February, and everything. Your practice matters. Your preparation matters. We're not just out here getting jump shots up and moving on until the end of the season. So it makes it fun. But these are the times when you look back in 10 years, people remember February. Mm-hmm. And no matter where we end the season, whether it's in March in the national tournament, whether it's Saturday, whatever these are the memories that you have with your guys, with your teammates, that when you look back in 10 years, those are the ones you talk about. Those are things that you remember, and that's what makes it fun. They've been a great group to be around. To watch their growth has been really exciting, and people from the outside telling us how they can see it. Because when you're in there every day, sometimes you get blinded, and you don't always see the progress of the team. And I bet if you ask the players, they would say, I sometimes don't see the progress either. But it's been fun. This last week, we're ready to play. The guys are locked in. If we don't win on Wednesday, if we don't win on Saturday, we're not going to look back and say it's not because we prepared the right way. These guys are prepared. They're ready to play. So we're excited to get on the bus, get up there, and let's go have 40 minutes of action and hope Manchell will sit his guys and we can get another game in.
Well, there are 3 doors to that gym, so maybe we can, when we come in to set up, we can lock a door or 2. But this is the second time we played Mercehurst a few weeks ago at home. Took care of business at home, and we talked then. And I don't think anything's changed the last couple weeks, but Mercehurst pretty tough on defense, but a pretty dynamic offense. So how do you get prepared for a game like that on the road?
Well, the first thing is you look at the first game when we won by 17, and that was a very deceiving number. If you look, it was a 4-point game with 5 minutes to go. We made some shots late. They didn't. They fouled. So the 17-point margin was not near what it was. I think we were tied at half. But, man, they've got 3 dynamic guards, and you got Walters, McDonald, and Collier, and those guys can score the basketball, and they can all make individual plays, so they put a lot of pressure on you. And the thing about their bigs, they play so hard. Manchell does a really good job. If his guys play their rear ends off, when the shot goes up, they're going to go after the basketball, and they run so many sets, it's just hard to prepare for. So if you haven't done your job in practice on how to defend specific actions, it's too late because they just run too many. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be one of those games where it's going to be a lower possession game. He wants to slow the game down. So every rebound matters, every half-court possession matters, every free throw rebound matters to where you can't give up empty possessions because there's just not going to be that many of them. We know they're not going to beat themselves. And the thing about his team, they were in the national tournament last year. They went to the round of 32. So they've been there. So going on the road, we have to be able to erase the last game and the fact of they didn't play well. They were on the road, they didn't play well. And the margin was deceiving. So, but I think we're playing better. Like our road wins have showed that. But he does a really good job, and it'll be fun. But they're a good basketball team, and they're good. They share it, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on you from an offensive standpoint.
And it's a Wednesday night road game. So tomorrow night, 3-hour trip. I know you guys said you weren't you're leaving today, but it seems weird that we've had that. Been home the last couple Wednesdays. Does that change anything with schedule or anything like that?
No, not really. Our practice time today is the same, and we had originally planned just to go up the day of, but once we kind of got closer to, we want to give ourselves the best chance to win, decided to travel up the night before with the women. The women have a big game with them going up to Mercehurst. They're trying to clinch the PSAC West on their side as well. But no, schedule stays the same. You get a shoot around up there. Just you're not sleeping in your bed. You're sleeping in a hotel bed. And the biggest problem, the biggest thing we have to fight is we can't just lay around all day tomorrow and nap. And we have to. But with that being said, if these guys aren't energized to play this game, well, then you need to go play golf or something because this one shouldn't take any motivation from me.
I can't wait to see it. If you can't make the trip up to Mercehurst tomorrow night, CUTV and WCAO have you covered. You can listen to the game live on 91.9 FM WCAO at 7:30. And we're planning on CUTV to provide live video on our YouTube page. Still a little, can't really 100% say it's going to work because where the gym is kind of in a we'll say a dark zone or a black hole up there at Mercehurst. We have some cell phone issues, but the Verizon map I saw yesterday almost guarantees that there's perfect 4G signal. So make sure you go to calvulcans.com and click on the link to watch the live game on CUTV. And if either of those two things don't suit you, you can watch the live stats on calvulcans.com as well. And Coach, for the purposes of TV, we're shooting this on Tuesday, 2 games ahead of us, but the second game ahead of us is IUP at home on Saturday, season finale at home. And IUP is, A, it's one of the top programs in the country, and B, biggest rival Cal has in basketball pretty much. So he said it shouldn't be hard for anybody to get up for this week of games, especially Saturday.
And that's exactly regardless of the scenario, we're probably, I shouldn't say regardless, if UPJ helps us out, we'll have something on the line on Saturday. And the first thing I want to mention about Saturday is it's going to be an opportunity for us. We don't have any seniors, so typically the last home game senior night, we're not honoring anybody. But who we are honoring is in 1967, 50 years ago to this year, was the first ever PSAC West men's basketball California championship, coached by Miles Witchey. And we're bringing those guys back and honoring them at halftime. So I would love to see a good support system come back and honor those men. A lot of them are still in the area. Coach Stewart was the driving force behind doing this. Me being a new guy, I didn't really get it. He brought it to my attention. It's like, that'd be a great idea. So we're going to honor those guys. And you're right, when you have a top 5 team in the country they're really good. I mean, they're talented, they're well coached, they're disciplined, and I didn't think we necessarily played terrible up there. We didn't play great. But, you kind of get a feel for that's where we want to get to. I mean, it's no secret that IUP and Gannon and those guys have been probably the cream of the crop in the West over the last 7 years. Well, that's a measuring stick for us. And like I said, we're not trying to look past Mercyhurst. IUP's a great team, very well coached, and it shows in their record over the last 6 or 7 years and where they are ranked in the country. I mean, I think they're 3 or 4 right now. Yeah. So it'll be a tough task, but I hope we go up and take care of business on Wednesday, and then we get to come back and celebrate the 67 team in the right way.
That'd be an amazing thing because, like I said, that 67 team, that basically you can kind of look and see where California basketball started 50 years ago. I mean, it played before there, but that's basically where they said, hey, we're here and we're going to be a force to reckon with, and you can pretty much draw a line from there to here. You mentioned the IEP game. We were up there for radio, and it was a close game except for like a minute and a half period where they hit a couple of threes because your team was within 4 or 5 points for that entire game, and then just, like I said, 3 possessions and then a turnover and another possession.
I think they hit
pretty
right?
close.
I think they hit 5 straight
5
threes.
in a row, yeah.
It was 5. Yeah, that's hard. And we just talked about with Clarion, when you go 3 for 25, it's hard to win. Well, when you hit 5 in a row and you don't convert on any of those possessions, that's a 15-point swing, and before you even get a drink of your water bottle. So, yeah, but that's what good teams do. You look and say, well, that's kind of beat you. Yeah, well, that's why they're number 3 in the country. That's why they are where they are. But if we can, looking ahead to that game, you have to clearly stay away from that type of scenario. Maybe me as a coach, I'm going to have to be ready to use a timeout or stop the run in some way. But I think we've grown. I haven't had a chance to watch them to know their growth. I know they've gotten better. But I know since that day we have gotten better. And we'll be more prepared and kind of do some things they did against us defensively because Lombardi prepares his team so well. I mean, they're so locked in defensively, and they change their scheme game to game, which is a hard thing to do with college kids. And he does it, and we have to be ready to think on the fly.
And that game will be Saturday at 5 o'clock at the Convocation Center. We have the schedule up for the next week. We can see Mercyhurst Wednesday 7:30, Saturday 5 o'clock, and Coach, if things go the right way, PSAC tournament first round. Shouldn't say 5 o'clock. Should say TBA. Have those reversed. But if you take care of business, you'll be playing somewhere on the road Monday night. So hopefully we can keep looking at that Monday night date to rent vans and get people out there.
The whole thing. Play one more.
Yep.
We're going to try to play one more, and that's the good thing is we control our own destiny, and we hope to get that opportunity because, like I just said, teams remember for what they did in February and what they did in March, and we just want that opportunity. I think the guys have earned it. We kind of talked last night that when you start 0-8 to be where we are right now, they have earned the right for this opportunity. The guys have. They put in the effort. They are the ones that didn't drop their heads. They didn't let the naysayers get to them. They just kept working. So we're very blessed to have the opportunity, and we're looking forward to it. So let's hope we play Monday. But for that to happen, we've got to take care of business tomorrow on the road.
And help Coach and the team take care of business. So make the drive up to Mercyhurst. It's about a 3-hour drive, 2 hour and 45 minutes if you have a little bit of a lead foot, but. And I don't think there's going to be snow up there for the first time in years that we've been up there. We've been up there where we've done a game that started a game at 60 and had 3 inches of snow by the end of the game. So I don't think it's supposed to be weather like that. So come on up, wear your red and black, and help neutralize the home court up in Mercyhurst. But if you can't do that, keep track with WCAL and CUTV and make plans on Saturday to come out to the Convocation Center for a big game against IUP. Let's make it loud in there and make the 67 team feel comfortable and help, hopefully Kyle, your team will shock the world on Saturday and give IEP a taste of some of their own medicine.
Yeah, great things come from great opportunity. So we'll see. We have an opportunity, and it'll be fun, and I know the guys will be ready to play that one. Don't have to worry about this week in terms of motivation.
Well, Coach, good luck this week, and I hope to see everyone out at the games. For Coach McBride, I'm Gary Smith. You've been watching the Coach McBride Show right here on CUTV.